Manifestation is real, at least kind of. Before I get into this video, I just want to say really quickly that this is a spiritual topic. I am discussing spiritual things. If you get triggered by that kind of stuff, if you don't want to hear certain things that might be seen as overly mysterious and not exactly like straight facts, then maybe don't watch this video, go watch a different video. But in today's video, I want to discuss manifestation because I am fully guaranteed all my life, on my deathbed, that manifestation is real, but there's a form of it that is good and there's a form of it that is bad, and I want to explain both today just to give you an objective look at both. All my life I've felt like I was unlucky. I was just an unlucky person. Nothing ever went right for me. And oh my gosh, whoa, look at this cave. What? Okay, we gotta come back here. So I always felt like I was unlucky. I always felt like I wasn't fortunate and I wasn't good at anything I ever did. I was always a negative thinker. I always felt negative. Honestly, it ruined my life. It ruined my mental health. I always was insecure, stressed. I don't know why it's so laggy right now. It's really annoying. Something I didn't realize was my own thoughts were the reason why I was so unfortunate, why everything was going wrong for me. You gotta realize the way you think and the way you feel genuinely have an impact on the universe spiritually. My wife, on the other hand, is a very, very lucky person. She always told me about how lucky she was growing up, and we're both Christians now, for the record, but she was into manifestation and crystals and all that stuff when she was a little younger. She would just be super lucky, just unbearably, like, unbelievably lucky as a person. But she always manifested good things. She always had a positive attitude. She always expected good and always expected good outcomes. And she would even, at one point in her life, speak it over herself. On the other hand, I always spoke negatively about myself. And, well, you can see the clear contrast between the two. The thing is, the way we think and the way we feel have a direct impact on our environment and our lives around us. There was a study a long time ago, there's a video of it on YouTube, where this, I think it was a Japanese guy, experimented by talking to water. Yes, he spoke to water, something that isn't technically living, doesn't have a soul. And every time he spoke positive words like "I love you" or just very kind, friendly, loving words, he noticed that the water crystals moved together. He noticed that the water molecules moved together, and essentially, this is like, I'm not explaining this very well, so I apologize. I'm not a scientist, but you can go read the study for yourself if I'm butchering it. But essentially, the water was healthier and better objectively when he spoke good to it, good things, good words. But then he would say words like "I hate you," and he would curse at the water, and he noticed that the water molecules actually separated when he did that, and they became kind of gross they became kind of gross and dirty versus the clean water that it was before, the shiny, clean, united water molecules. If our words have an impact on our environment, on water, on trees, on plants, think about in the Bible, Jesus literally curses a fig tree because it didn't bear any fruits. Even though that's a symbolic story, what happened to the fig tree? If you've read the Bible, you would know that the fig tree withered almost immediately when Jesus cursed it. Jesus, being God, had a lot of power on earth spiritually, and everything he commanded basically was what happened. But we have the same ability to curse or uplift with our words and our actions. So if we can have that kind of impact on inanimate things, on like our environment that isn't like an animal or a human, if we can have that kind of impact on things that don't have a soul, what kind of impact can we have on ourselves when we tell ourselves negative thoughts, negative feelings, when we get anxious, when we get when we start proper overthinking and like getting intrusive thoughts about ourselves? Which, by the way, I have a video on intrusive thoughts, so if you get intrusive thoughts, watch that video. Genuinely, our thoughts, and especially the things we speak out loud, have a direct impact on our environment and our lives, and not even just internally, but externally. There's a reason why we are meant to speak good things. There's a reason why we aren't supposed to curse. There's a reason why we aren't supposed to say certain words. It's because they're tied to very evil, demonic things that affect us and the environment around us which could negatively then impact us and our lives. A habit that I've been doing for a few years now is something called gratitude journaling, and that's basically where I journal down every day things that I'm grateful for, and sometimes I would even go and text or call somebody and tell them I'm grateful for them for this or that. And it could be a random person, it could be a friend, it could be a family member. But every time I did that, especially over a long period of time of doing that, my life just got so much more positive, so much more grateful, when my default inclination is not gratitude. It's not positivity. I'm the most inherently negative and self-deprecating and depressive person you will ever meet. For some reason, whenever I have a habit of expressing or speaking or writing down things I'm grateful for, it has a huge impact on my life. Although manifestation is real, there's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it spiritually. The bad way to do it is to make yourself God. Anything that makes yourself God is something that will take you away from the natural order of the universe. We weren't meant to be our own gods. We're not even capable of being our own gods. I mean, think about how much anxiety we have. And I want to go ahead and give you a quick little analogy. When we were kids, we trusted in our parents to take care of us because they were objectively above us. They were bigger and smarter and older and wiser and objectively just bigger than us spiritually. So we trusted them. We had our full trust in them. Even if they were abusive, we knew we would be okay with them because they will take care of us. But as adults, we don't have anybody that we have full trust in. Yeah, we could have a friend. Yeah, we could have a father or mother figure or a mentor. But it's not the same because they are on the same level as us as an adult human. When we go to God, we are going to something that is subjectively bigger than us. So we are not supposed to be making ourselves God when it's just not in the natural order to the universe to do that. So if we manifest things as if we are God, as if we are at the center of the universe, as if we are the most important, then that's an issue. Even worse if we do it for witchcraft purposes, which is just not in the natural order of the universe. So you can do it if you want, but it's not the natural order to things, the witchcraft and demonic warfare and all that. So you will be negatively affected by it, even if it feels good in the moment to do. A lot of habits feel good to do in the moment, but aren't actually good for you or your long-term mental health or long-term life quality. But if you manifest in a way that honors God and is centered on God and with a natural order to how things are supposed to be, then you are fine, and that's okay. We just have to recognize that we don't have any spiritual power that we should be idolizing. Anything that's spiritually powered that we have comes from God. It doesn't make us God. So that's the most important distinction that you need to make when manifesting. And we just can't idolize the act of manifestation alone. Ultimately, the creator of the universe has the ultimate say, and so we should be going to God before anything else. However, the gist is manifestation is most definitely real, and there's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it, but it is definitely real, and it will have a big impact on your life. The way you think, the way you feel, the things you say, the things you tell yourself, they have a very, very real impact in the world. With that being said, I love you guys. I know this was a weird little video to make. It wasn't planned or structured, but I figured it would provide a little bit of value to you guys. So I love you all, and I hope to see you all hopefully sometime soon. Goodbye. Hey, before you click off this video, I have a Discord community that is for those trying to improve their life. If that's you, if you're just tired of living a life of depression, anxiety, just poor mental health, then surrounding yourself with other people just like you is a great way to help you improve your life. Let's all strive for a better life together. Click the link in the description right now. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to support me and earn some cool perks in return. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.